Hi, this is Daniel Chang, and this is part 5 of the sort of photo bash fantasy landscape digital painting demo. Over here, we're going to wrap this up pretty soon here, but I wanted to show a couple of more tricks that we can do aside from mixer brush for this thing. If I hit Control A, Control Shift C, Control V, I flatten everything or copy everything as a flattened thing on top of every. So I've got a layer that's got everything on there. I go to filters. I go over here to filter gallery. Boom, boom, boom. Should pop up this thing right here. And I use it so much, it was like the first thing that popped up, which is hilarious. So you could see here, this is on the cutout filter, and you can see like how many number of levels you can set it to, edge simplicity. You can actually make the edges very simple. You could see, look at that. That's almost like a postcard or something from that you can buy from Disneyland. Welcome to, giant ape land. So look at that. That's kind of cool. And I kind of like, how graphic that looks, So I can hit this. And then from here, show you if I zoom in now. This is the thing at full opacity, but I can actually lower the opacity down. But it'll still kind of feel like, I've got some of the details of the photos, but I've also got a little bit of the sort of simplification that occurs when you actually paint something. So there's a little bit of that there, which is kind of nice. And I've got the mush from the mixer brush there. So it kind of feels a little bit more oil painterly. And so let me see. And there's actually bits here that I really hate that the cutout filter did. So I'm just going to erase that part all out here. I want to bring back some of them details up here around the face and maybe some of that building. Sometimes the simplification thing is cool, and sometimes you kind of want your subject matter to have the detail that back. So that's cool. Maybe some of these clouds too. Yeah, they don't feel like clouds after a while, so you gotta I'm just gonna erase back out on the sky part in particular. That's fine. But at least we have a slightly more graphic treatment on the stuff in the foreground, which was a whole lot of noise that was kind of distracting me. Any case, so there was that, and then there's a couple of other cool little concept art tricks that I don't know. Not sure if here you could be the judge. You can just make a layer and make this layer. Actually, let's do that whole trick again. Control A, Control Shift C, Control V. Right, I just copied everything onto this layer, and then we go to filter. And actually, before we do this, we can go over to channel and go down here to red, and I'm just gonna move it. So use the move tool, and I'm gonna use my arrow keys, and I'm gonna nudge the red up and to the right. So I'm gonna hit the up arrow. Oh, come on, I have to select it. Control A. Okay, Control A. Up arrow and right arrow. And then maybe another up. I don't know. And then I'm going to go to the green here, the green channel. I'm just going to left arrow and down arrow a little bit. And maybe another left arrow. Who knows? hey, blue, we could just keep blue where it is. And then when I bring you back here, you could see what happened here. Do you see what happened here? Isn't that weird? It's got like, basically I nudged over the colors. This is called chromatic aberration. I think I did it too much. I totally overdid this. So let me undo. undo. I went cray with that. Okay, instead of nudging it twice, I'm just going to nudge it once now. Control A. Going to go to channels. Going to go over to the red channel. And then I'm going to have up and to the right. Wait a sec. Yeah, just the red. Control A. Up and to the right. Green. Gonna go down. And then blue, maybe left. Okay. Well, let's see what happens. Yeah, there's just a little bit of that. See, just a little subtle bit of that everywhere. It's a little bit too much, and it's only on this layer, though, which is good. The other thing we can do with this layer is we can put a filter on it called, go to filter, you go to sharpen, go to unsharp mask, and it'll just put a little line around every little edge there. It's kind of ugly, actually. If you want my honest opinion, it's kind of ugly, but it hides a lot of the photo bashiness of it, because this is that thing where I said, like, if everything looks bad, then nothing looks bad. And then of course the last bit that you can do for this trick is you go to filter, you go to noise, and then you can add noise. And so here I've added a Gaussian blur on the noise, and so just add enough noise on there, and I don't know, it just kind of messes with your eyes, makes everything kind of blend together a little bit better. I don't know, even upon scrutiny of up close. And so it's so subtle, all the stuff we just did. But if I zoom in here and I turn this layer off, you'll see this is what it was before, this is what it is now. And so what you can do, because this is on a separate layer, you can reduce the amount of influence by lowering the opacity of what we just did. Maybe we don't want it so noisy and all that. We can actually reduce that, and maybe we don't want so much of this mush that I did. But all this stuff is kind of adjustable as we go. Let me see if there's any last minute things I want to try out. Not sure. Maybe more vignetting? I'm not sure. I don't know. Or maybe something more on the color spectrum of things. I got to overlay now, and I'm just curious if I just made everything warmer for a bit, what that would look like. And then hit Control U, and then just adjusted it so that maybe everything's bluer. Just trying out my Instagram filters, on this thing. Do I like it warmer or do I like it cooler? That's a huge question I have for myself. Not sure. I think I like it cool. Except for maybe some of this stuff down here. So maybe I can gradiate this. So I just made a clipping mask here. Or not clipping mask, a normal mask, by clicking on this square with the circle in it. And I have this set on black, gradient, and I'm just going to swipe up And basically it's going to be a bit warmer down here and a bit cooler up there. So, but it also kind of darkened that stuff up there too, if you notice. So I'm just going to warm up to some of this stuff up here too on the face. And then, let's see, another neat trick. I can show you another neat trick that I like to do, which is I hit Control A, Control Shift C, Control V, and I just darken this entire layer down a bit more. Just darken it just subtly where you could barely see it, and maybe desaturate it a little bit more. Okay, so it almost feels slightly overcast, right? And that's this layer, right? And then what you do is you mask out the areas you want to really brighten up. So I can paint those back in. So I'm just gonna go in with a soft brush and just gonna erase out, like, hey look, I want his face really bright. You know, that kind of thing. Hey, look here. Look at his eyes. And then bring in some of that contrast, darken around the eyes, right? And then this child right here too. I really want you to notice this kid. And that's hard to do. Gotta do this subtly. Just painting around him and stuff. You don't really need to like see the hut all that much, you know. Maybe put in a little slight core on that hut. Maybe just emphasize this part right here. But again, like, what I really want you to look at is this ape up here, these buildings on his back, and then, you know, this child right here. And we could even brighten little lights that kind of point us. Let me see this. Ooh. It's as if like the light is poking through the clouds and shining on this ape's face right here. It's kind of pretty. Yeah, just subtle. This stuff down here is subtle, but the ape, that's like the majestic thing, right? That's the thing we want to get out of this. And again, more atmosphere, I would say, as well. Let's push him back a bit more. It's like, I'm putting all that detail. Why are you pushing it back? Trust me. The atmosphere helps sell that thing is humongous and it's far away. That's what that does. Okay. Cool. I think I could call it done at this point. It's an okay piece. It's not exactly portfolio material, but at least, you know, we got kind of a neat idea in there. And you know, obviously a lot of this stuff is is just taken right out of Google. So for the assignment, I would say we can do that, just so that you learn how to do the photo bashy stuff. But again, I'm not looking at this as being portfolio material necessarily, but it is kind of a neat idea that maybe later on we'll want to do another thing. Maybe I'll draw it out and paint it up for reels or something like that. But kind of fun. I hope you had fun looking at this stuff and hope you learned a few tricks here and there. And thanks. And I'll talk to you guys later.